I'm Darren.
I'm Derek.
And this is the Double D Podcast.
And we are back yet again for another Battle on the Border interview, this time with one half of the Tag Team Champions, Justin Xavier. Very excited we finally get to interview a champion on the show.
Yeah, and if you look back in a past podcast,
it was a big one.
We
had it.
Huh?
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say we interviewed one of his
Russell.
Yeah, Russell.
We interviewed Russell, who, if you guys follow Battle on the Border, then you know that Justin Xavier and Amos are the Tag Team Champions, and right now they are being threatened by the marquee players. And Russell Actaful Bland is a part of that. I think we heard him talk about.
Yeah, he did a lot of talking about how he's going to try. He's not going to try. He's going to get those back. We'll see how that plays out for him. But
yeah, we'll see how that plays out. We had him on, and he was a really nice guy. I really enjoyed this interview. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about, obviously, his time out on the border, being a champion. We found out he's extremely young.
Yeah,
and listen, I mean, if he's listening to this, or if anyone out there is listening to this, the sky's the limit for this guy. He is truly one of the best competitors, I think, in Battle on the Border. And I was extremely excited to see where his career goes from here. He does have a tough battle, though, on July 23rd. He's got big Jake Shepard to look forward to, and that is going to be it's always a hard-fought match. Even if Russell's out there, it's going to be tough. He gets involved.
And don't forget, July 23rd at the fire station in
Moores Hill Fire Department.
Yeah,
Moores Hill Fire Department. Moores Hill Mayhem. Moores Hill Fire Department, July 23rd. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
On our last podcast, we seen that there was a fans bring the weapons match, we'll take a quick break again, real quick.
And we're back.
Sorry, we had to cut that off. There was bad weather, and there was possibly a tornado forming over our house as we were talking. So we had to get out of here, and we came back out like 5 minutes later. So there might still be a tornado going over.
We just had to examine and
see, the good thing,
grabbed our co-host.
Right, the good thing is we have him now. I mean, not that we left him in the house alone, but Maggie did not want to be responsible for that protection of him, I guess, because we know tornado forming is scary. I don't blame her.
You got anything to say?
Yeah, Ian, how do you feel about being a baby?
Ooh, it's soft, isn't it?
Mm.
You got anything to say else? Anything else to say? Go ahead.
He's perplexed by your lights. He loves those.
You don't want to say nothing?
No, he's a baby.
All right.
He can barely talk. But anyway, I mean, we were pretty much done, but we wanted to make sure we got our, all of our socials in and stuff. But yeah, the interview is really good. So I hope he enjoyed it. We'll have him back on anytime, of course. That goes with all of our guests.
Oh, for sure. And then that goes for anybody else too.
Yeah, anybody out there.
You want to do an interview?
On July 23rd, Moores Hill Mayhem in Moores Hill at the fire department. We will be at the event with the table set up. We'll have our suggestion box here. Make sure to drop a suggestion in there. Better than the one that we read last week.
Yes, and something better than nothing.
Yeah, anything.
Preferably.
I'm not that the last one last week was bad. It's just how are we supposed to do it? I mean, we could do it. We could do a podcast about why men are the way they are. Why men are the way they are.
We could, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a man and I still don't know.
See, that's the problem. I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know.
I'm a dude and I still have no fucking clue what the heck.
But remember, in the suggestion box, you can write down anything. It doesn't have to be BOTB related. It can be about anything. Anything's welcome. Just let us know. We'll put everything in there, and we'll read it and we'll put it in an interview at some point or an episode at some point.
And don't forget, we will have free Double D Podcast pens at the next event.
Free Double D Podcast pens. I was gonna try to make us capitalist. Darren said no. Let's give them away for free, which is probably the best bet.
So what you could do is take the Double D Podcast pen
and get some autographs,
or put a suggestion in our suggestion box,
and then you can take the pen away with you.
Yeah, and sign autographs.
And you can use it at doing a lot of things.
Yeah, you do schoolwork,
paperwork, crossword puzzles.
You could
Sudokus.
Yeah, draw.
You could draw.
You could
tic-tac-toe.
The Double D Podcast pins. Endless opportunities.
It's such a great deal. All for the low price of absolutely
nothing.
Our socials. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow. or like, comment, subscribe, send it to your friends and family, share it with another Battle on the Border fan. You can follow me at Twitter at DJDub00. You can follow us on Instagram at the double_D_podcast. You can follow us on TikTok at the Double D Podcast 1.
Yeah, there. You can email us at doubledpodcast123@gmail.com and add my snap if you love me. Darren 11345678 and don't forget my DJ service, and that phone number is 812-212-1675.
And off to the interview. Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, would you like to introduce yourself?
I am Justin Xavier, one half of the Battle on the Border Tag Team Champions, along with Amos.
All right. Well, we always ask this first question when we start, just to get to know you a little bit. So, what was it that got you into professional wrestling to begin with?
So I was staying with my dad, and he was flipping through channels, and all of a sudden on the TV there was Impact Wrestling was on, and it was Rockstar Spud and EC3, and the loser got their hair shaved, and then there's blood everywhere, and then violence, and ever since then I've just kind of been hooked.
So you grew up with Impact Wrestling?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, so did I. I was just telling Darren, my co-host, I was telling him, I was like, I was hoping that eventually we would interview someone I'd be able to relate to them, because there's a little bit of an age gap between most of the people we interview, and I can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
So how, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Holy crap, he's younger than I am.
Yeah. See, that's what so what is it like to be a 21-year-old in the wrestling business this early? I mean, that has to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I started when I was 18. Just started training and then started doing shows and been doing it ever since. I mean, I don't really know, honestly. I mean, like, it's all I've really known since I've been in my adult life, so.
I mean, it has to help out too that you're around people who've been in the business for a long time. Some of them have been in the business as long as you've been alive, so that has to help out. A lot of experience.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I have a lot of great mentors, a lot of great trainers.
Right. So you said you're part of the Tag Team Champions. Have you always been a tag team wrestler, or is that something that's been a little bit newer to you?
So I broke into the business in a tag team, actually. It was myself and Jaden Jett. We were regular flight, had a handful of tag team matches together, and yeah, man, things didn't work out, and now here we are feuding a Battle on the Border.
Yeah, I was about to mention that at the last show that we were that I was at, you had a match with Jaden Jett, and unfortunately you came up short on that one. We have also interviewed Russell Actiful Bland here on the podcast. Now, we don't choose sides here. I'm not gonna say one. I'm not. I go into every match thinking, these two are two competitive. I don't have any favorites.
Yeah.
But I mean, how has it been? Because Russell, he's a little slippery, and the marquee players are too, and they've been on your guys' case. They want those tag team titles. How's it been with? I mean, it's been a long feud from what I can understand.
Absolutely, it's been annoying to say the least. It's been a real feud in my time, man. I mean, Jake Jett's a guy that I've known my entire life. I mean, I've known him since I was 5 years old. We broke into the business together. For him to stab me in the back, and then now do what he's doing, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt a little bit, but having Amos, having a new partner, a new mentor, someone to take me under his wing, and it really helped me out and helped me grow as a performer. I mean, I'm very confident that we can retain these tag team championships against any team. I
absolutely agree. You guys are very impressive to watch. Let me think. So 2 shows ago that I went to, there was a big brawl because there was a battle royal, and then eventually there was a brawl, and it was brawling over to tables, and it was wild. It was. I mean, this is a high. The tensions are high right now. And at the next show on July 23rd in Morris Hill Mayhem, you have Big Jake Shepard. It looks like you're going to be having a match with him. So, I mean, what are your thoughts going into that match?
I mean, Big Jake's someone I'm very familiar with as well. I mean, I've wrestled him multiple times in tag team action and in singles competition. So, I've had him well scouted for well over a few years now. I mean, go out there, give it my all. I'm not going to give away any game plans, because I know Russ and Jake are smart. Marquee players are smart. I know they're going to listen to this. So.
Yeah, definitely.
We're good at that.
No, I wouldn't want to. I'm not trying to Not trying to ruin your game plan here.
You're good.
So I mean, so would you consider yourself somewhat of a high flyer? I know you said you grew up on Impact Wrestling, and that was kind of what they were known for, especially like Rockstar Spud in the X Division. Always had a great high flying presence. Do you consider yourself a high flyer?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
100%.
what is it like to get up there on that top turnbuckle and to do these flips and all these crazy moves? I mean, do you ever get a little bit nervous, or is that where you're comfortable at now?
I mean, I'm more comfortable in the air than I am on the ground, just because the size difference alone. You know, I'm not the biggest guy in the ring, so from a lack of size, I got to make up for it and play to my strengths. So I feel like the less time I'm on the mat with an opponent bigger than me, the better off I am. I mean, I grew up jumping off the roof of my house onto the trampoline, so I'm not really worried about heights. I never have been.
Right, you got that risk taker in you. That's important, and you got that speed too. That helps too.
Speed always helps when you're going against bigger opponents.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, so the zero gravity tournament. What are your thoughts on the zero gravity tournament?
I think it's a fantastic addition to Battle on the Border. Not only Battle on the Border, but professional wrestling. I mean, it's bringing a style that's been hot on the independent scene for many years now to Battle on the Border, and a division that caters specifically to that style of wrestling. I think is fantastic, and I think the fans win, the roster wins, everybody wins, and it's I'm very excited, very intrigued to see how this tournament plays out.
Oh, absolutely. Now, not to backtrack or anything here, but I'm just trying to think of questions on the fly. Should probably do a little bit more preparation for this kind of thing. But how long have you been with Battle on the Border?
I debuted in February of 2020 under a mask.
Oh.
COVID hit. That was actually the first show I ever done was February of 2020. COVID hit, kind of sidetracked everything, and then kind of got brought in as a tag team with Retroflight and been about on the border ever since. So about 2 years now.
What was it? What was your name the same when you were under the mask? Did you go under a different name?
Yeah, I was Mascaras Verde, which means green mask.
Okay.
The mask was green.
I was hoping so. It'd be weird if the mask was blue. What made you wrestle under a mask? I mean, was there a reason for it, or was this something you thought was cool?
Just filling a need that the promoter wanted,
Makes sense. All right.
Fair enough.
I mean, I've always loved like the lucha libre style of wrestling. It's always quicker paced action, always the high fly spots. So I get that. I mean, you had like Sami Zayn used to be El Generico before he was Sami Zayn. You have Rey Mysterio, who's a great, he's wrestling in a mask. And you have like Penta Zero in AEW, Rey Fenix. There's a lot of great masked wrestlers, and they all seem to be high flying. I don't know if that has something to do with just the lucha libre style, or if the mask brings that high flying element. I don't really know. So, what was your you've only been there for 2 years. I mean, that's a long time. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, do you have any great feuds that you look back on and think that's the best the best feud you had, or any matches or anything that stick out to you?
At Battle on the Border specifically, I'd definitely say Retroflight against the Reject Academy. I mean, all those guys, love them or hate them, they're very talented, and I had a lot of fun wrestling them. I got a lot better wrestling them. It's people that I definitely would love to step in between the ropes with again. But right now, I mean, honestly, I'd say Retroflight and Reject Academy is probably my favorite feud I've been a part of.
Absolutely. So being tag team champions at such a young age, I mean, you have so much room to grow. You can get so much better. Not that you're not great now. You're a great wrestler now, but to get you the ceiling is so high for you. I mean, you have to have some really high expectations.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, do you have any specific goals in mind? I mean, right now, of course, you're focused on the tag team division and retaining those titles for as long as possible. But is there anything else that you want to make sure you get done at some point in BOTB?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I would not want to represent the zero gravity division. I mean, I feel like, honestly, with all due respect, and I say this humbly, I think I'm the best damn cruiserweight wrestler at Battle on the Border.
I agree.
By the end of the day, I would love to have my name in the record books holding that championship.
Now, I just seen this video today. Carson Drake is now back into the zero gravity tournament after he took 2 losses to Brian Pillman. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Carson Drake deserves to be in the? Is he someone that when you look at him, you think he's a zero gravity guy, or do you think he's kind of reaching for himself there?
I mean, I've known Carson a very long time. I've had a lot of matches with Carson.
Right. I did. I looked them up. I looked some of them up. I've seen some of them.
I don't know, man. I mean, he paid somebody.
Yeah.
paid somebody to say 199 pounds when he wasn't even stepping on the scale to begin with.
Right.
But I mean, it is what it is, you know.
I mean, if Carson Drake ends up being representing zero, that's got to grind your gear. I would be upset if I were you. I'm just saying.
Carson Drake's Carson Drake.
Oh yeah, we know about. I mean, listen, I would love to have a conversation with him, but I probably regret it right away.
Do you like Carson Drake in the ring?
I think he's a very talented performer, absolutely. Very gifted, and he's great now, and he's going to be very, very great for many years to come, absolutely.
Absolutely. You said your nickname was Pac-Man. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Where's that? Is that from the video game? Is that your favorite video game? I mean.
See, I trained at the Nightmare Factory with Cody Rhodes and QT in Atlanta
Whoa.
for a few months, actually this year. And while I was down there, I had the video game gear, but I didn't really have a moniker. I just knew I liked video games.
Yeah.
Everybody just started calling me Pac-Man, and it just caught along. Just ran with it ever since.
Now wait. So
Cody
you
Rhodes.
trained with the Nightmare? What was that like? I wish I would have known about that. What was that like?
It was fantastic, man. It was amazing. It was a great. I was in a 12-week camp, and everyone in the camp was great. Great group of guys. Still friends with a lot of the people, man. The training was top notch. I mean, what better training could you ask for?
No, there's not much else. I mean, did you get to train personally with Dustin or Cody or any of them, or?
I mean, it was more of like a class setting.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun, man. There was definitely days where all the coaches were there, and I have nothing but great things and good memories looking back on that camp.
So did you feel like you retained a lot of information from that specific?
Yeah, tremendous amount of information.
It can't get much better. I mean, you see what Cody Rhodes is doing right now in WWE. It's exciting to watch. He's always an exciting performer, and like you said, there's not much else. I mean, that's 3 generations technically of professional wrestling in that family. I mean, you can't get much better. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's wild. So I did notice that you're into video games.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite video game right now?
Right now, that's tough.
If you don't have one, we can go of all time too.
Of all time, I would have to say Pac-Man just for the gimmick's sake.
Well, come on. I mean, you know.
Hey, Pac-Man's a pretty badass game though.
Pac-Man is great. There was a movie theater that I grew up not too far from, and I almost beat the high school record at the movie theater. I didn't. I mean, Pac-Man. I mean, Pac-Man's a good game. It's retro, but it's nice. Is Miss Pac-Man or Pac-Man though? Because I hear some people say Miss Pac-Man's better.
I'm more of a traditional Pac-Man kind of guy. They're both good. They're both solid. But I like the OG.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
So do you play like PS4 or Xbox? What are you turning on right now? Wii, maybe?
PC.
I have a little bit of everything. I have an Xbox One. I have a PlayStation 4. I have a Wii, a Nintendo Switch, and a DS.
Dang.
Nice, dude.
A lot of game systems.
You should start a gaming channel. That'll really lean into the gimmick there.
Oh yeah.
I did see you have a YouTube channel.
Yes, I do.
How long have you been doing the YouTube thing?
I believe since I started wrestling.
All right, yeah. I noticed you had a couple of matches on there. I've watched a couple of them. What's the key to getting more than more views than we get? I'm a little embarrassed of some of the numbers we've pulled. How do you got some good views? How do you get the views there?
I mean, it just catering to your target audience, I'd say. Laying into like the demographics, the hashtags. Knowing when to post is really important. When wrestling's really hot and people are talking about wrestling, it's usually when Raw's on or SmackDown or AEW. So usually about that time is when you would preferably like to post and use the hashtag wrestling, hashtag pro wrestling, because it just gets up to the algorithm more when more people are talking about it.
Oh, that is really smart. Yeah.
That's information that I didn't know. I didn't know you could hashtag them on there like that.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why my sister does the uploading because she's way better at this than we are. Okay. I mean, listen, man. I mean, is there anything, Darren, that you wanted to ask? Is there anything else you wanted to?
Not that I can think of.
Is there anything that you wanted to say, Justin? Is there anything that you could think of you wanted to get out there?
I mean, thank you for giving me the opportunity on this platform to be able to speak to you guys. It was a lot of fun, man. I hope to do it again.
Absolutely,
Oh, sure.
anytime
Always
you want.
welcome.
And by the way, I got to say this because my dad told me to say this when I told him I was interviewing you. He said he loves the whole arcade gimmick. He thinks it's great because he told me we were sitting at a table at the last event. And he was like, "That kid doesn't even know. Like, he looked like he's old enough to know what an arcade is." And I was like, I mean, it's a good point because I barely know what an arcade is. Do you spend time in an arcade? Have you ever you like hanging out at arcades?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I go to the one that's in the old Cincinnati Mall.
Yeah.
But they're moving soon. But I'm in there all the time, and I actually have a couple machines at home, and I just enjoy it, man.
What do you got at home?
I have a Pac-Man machine that I
Of
got from
course.
Walmart, and then I have an old Asteroids machine that my buddy's dad gave me.
That
That's
is
awesome.
pretty badass.
Pretty sick.
All right. Well, is there anything that you wanted to say? Because, like you said, there's a possibility that Big Jake Shepard or Russell Actor Full Blames. Is there anything that you wanted to say to them?
I just want to tell them to be ready, man, because they're gonna see a side of me that nobody's seen since I've been at Battle on the Border. I mean, this whole feud, you got to be on top of your game, and I think I'm better than I ever have been.
Absolutely. I said, not picking favorites. I've interviewed the both of you, so now I'm going into it 100% 50-50. I might have been leaning a little bit towards Russell on the last one just because I knew him, personally. But now, 50-50, I'm rooting for you.
I'm just excited to see the outcome to the match.
Big Jake. Now, real quick, last event, Amos wrestled Big Jake Shepard, and he was able to powerbomb Jake Shepard. Do you think you're going to be able to do something like that?
He's been my tag team partner for a while, man. I've been hitting the gym with him.
Oh yeah.
He's been showing me some tricks. I might have some things I can pull out that no one's seen before.
If you powerbomb Jake Shepard, I will lose my mind. I lost my mind when he did it. I will lose my mind again. Well, I'm excited for your match. I'm excited for July 23rd. Good luck out there. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see. And you know what? You guys are great tag team champions, and I'm excited to see you guys continue to defend them.
Thank you, man.
And like I said, anytime you want to come back on, just let us know. We're willing to we're willing to talk to you anytime.
Yeah, just do interviews whenever.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
All right, absolutely. Thank you again.
See you, man. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
See ya.